Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gold Seal Certification webinar. I am pleased that you could join us today, and I hope that this webinar helps you out on your journey with Gold Seal. A couple of housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded, so if you do need to leave for any reason, it will be available on our YouTube channel, as well as the link will be posted on our website, which is goldsealcertification.com, under the exam page, and that will usually be posted the day after. As well, if you have any questions at all, we will be answering at the end of the webinar, just to ensure smooth process of the webinar, to ensure that everybody can listen to all of the presentation. So if you do have a question, go ahead and type it into the question box, which is located on your right-hand side of the menu. And we can you can type in your question anytime throughout the webinar, and I will address them at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Chanel Roberts. I am the manager for the Gold Seal program here at CCA, and I will take you through everything about the program and a little bit about the exam. I apologize, I was unmuted, or I was muted there for a moment. For anybody that did not hear the beginning part, we are recording this webinar, and it will be available on our YouTube channel as well as our website. And we will go over any questions at the end of the session. So if you do have any questions, please go ahead and type them into the question box, and I will go over them at the end. So today we will be going over what is the Gold Seal certification and why you should get certified, the designations and their respective occupational profiles, the application process, requirements, a little bit about the exam. I'll give you some resources as well, and the upcoming exam dates. So with Gold Seal, the way that it's seen is it's Canada's recognized industry standard. So it's the highest form of certification that you can get as a construction management professional. It is your industry stamp of approval, essentially. And if you are going for your Gold Seal, you're technically the best of the best. You would be part of a network that extends more than 11,000 Gold Seal certified professionals. And you're also looking to, develop yourself professionally, and that you would be able to follow projects that are under the curriculum standard. So I'm going to bring you through a couple of Gold Seal success stories, but these are available on our website as well. And I encourage you to check them out specifically in your role, in your designation, as it gives you a little bit of an idea and a snapshot of what life is like after getting your Gold Seal certification, and how it can help you in your career. So a couple of just some quotes here, but the stories are actually available as an article, essentially. So you can read through those articles belonging to these GSCs. So Mike Love here at the top says that getting his Gold Seal certification provided a better path to developing qualities. He needed to be a better leader. Himanshu says that he feels more motivated to keep performing at a high standard, and that he feels that his certification is a benefit for not only himself, but for his employer. And that's actually a very good point, because more and more as we see the program progress, there are several employers that look specifically for their employees to be Gold Seal certified. So that's that alone is a goal, So if you're wondering, what the Gold Seal can bring you, well, it could benefit for better jobs, better employment. So that's something to consider as well. William here is a foreman, and he says that the certification route is a really good way to sharpen up your soft skills and looking to roll into management position, and it definitely gives you the tools to get there. So we have a couple more quotes here from project managers as well. Looking at Brandon's here at the bottom, saying that having his Gold Seal certification to back me and my company up makes us extremely valuable in this market. So that's a really good, point to consider as well, is what is the value in the market. And Gold Seal certification is always considered, the top value. So it's good to, keep these little points in mind. So again, go through some of our success stories, read through either just your designation or all of them. It's up to you, but it's a good point of view for you to read through before you start your journey. So we're going to go through the tiers of the program, and essentially we have Gold Seal interns, then the Gold Seal certified, and your professional Gold Seal certified. So as an intern, if you're going to register as an intern, you have at least 1 year of Canadian experience in your designation. Or 2 years in an assistance role. So that may mean, either junior estimator or project manager assistant or, project coordinator. Foreman also counts as an assistant role to a superintendent application. So these are the requirements for a Gold Seal intern. And then you would have 5 years to complete your internship and to reach the requirements to become Gold Seal certified as an applicant. So I will take you through every step of the way for all of these layers of the program in the next couple slides. As a Gold Seal certified, which is the main certification, you do have the work experience along with the education, and you're ready to write the exam. So in order to write the exam, you must be approved with your Gold Seal certified application. For those that are already Gold Seal certified, you may choose to move on to the professional Gold Seal certified designation, which is the P.GSC. And here, these are requirements that are renewable every 2 years. And it's basically for someone that is looking to continue with their professional development, whether it's continuous education, being part of a committee in the industry. And we'll go through a couple of those requirements later on in the slides as well. So the designations that we certify, and so if you fall in one of these categories, then this program is for you. We certify our estimators, foremen, owners, construction managers, project managers, safety practitioners, which were all previously called safety coordinators, and your superintendents. With the designations come the occupational profiles. So the occupational profile essentially identifies the core competencies. So this is made to be the standard for each designation, and the skills as well. So everyone in each designation should have these competencies and skills, and it is regardless of company size, where they're located, that kind of thing. So it is something you'll want to go through, and I'll just take you through the reasoning for that. So when you're reviewing your occupational profile for your specific designation, what you want to do is you want to define the development areas. So perhaps there are some competencies that you don't recognize, or perhaps there's something in a skill that you may not do every day. This is where you can identify that you perhaps need additional training, or maybe some research you can discuss with your peers. The profile essentially is meant to serve as a guide, and it's also a good practice review before the exam. So the occupational profile sections, and I'll show you an example in a moment here. The sections are essentially what is on the exam. So you'll want to make sure that you're familiar with each section and each competency in order to be able to answer the questions on the exam. So what we will be requiring applicants to do is reading through the profile before submitting an application. So if you haven't done so already and you're curious about going into the Gold Seal application journey, I encourage you to go through your profile for your designation, read through it, and just basically identify yourself and your competencies and your day-to-day skills with this profile. So I'll just take you through one very quickly here and show you where they're located. So this link will bring you to our exam page, but if you just go to goldsealcertification.com, under applicants, there's a section for Gold Seal exam. Then if you scroll down a little bit, we do talk a little bit about the occupational profile itself, as well as the exam. But in this section, occupational profiles, you'll see each designation with the link to the profile. So for example, I'll just click on project manager. This document is a PDF. It could be printed, saved. It's up to you, but it is always there on the website as well. Each designations profile is, a little bit different. They're not all the same number of pages. Depends on the competencies and the skills per role. So what you're going to notice here are the sections. So we have, for example, business skills for the project manager, all of the competencies on the left, and the supporting competency, skill, knowledge, or task that's associated with it. If you scroll down a little bit more and continue, you'll see other sections as well. So tendering, we have a little bit about project management itself. Then we move on to, that's a long one. Then we move on to, I believe, post-construction. So all of these competencies are something that you'll want to relate to in your day-to-day job. So very important to read through that before you move on. Okay, so I will take you through essentially how we start applying in the GSI or the GSC format. So when you start, as mentioned in the previous slides here, as a Gold Seal intern, you would submit your application. We have forms online that are on the website, and you would submit the application. It would go in for review, and then if you have your 1 year experience or your 2 years as an assistant position, along with a letter of reference, you would be approved as an intern. Then you would have 5 years to meet the requirements for a GSC and challenge the exam. Then at that point, you would be able to apply separately. It would be a separate application for the Gold Seal Certified, the GSC. Submit the application, it would go in for review. And then two things could happen. You either meet the requirements or you don't. If you do not meet the requirements, you would technically still be approved as a GSI. So we don't take that credential away from you. You would still remain as a GSI. And if you were applying directly for the first time as a GSC, so let's say you have your 5 years experience, you think you have all your education and training, and you apply as a GSC. If you don't meet the requirements, you're approved as a GSI as an intermediary step. And then the cycle continues back towards meeting the requirements and following the 5-year program. Now, not everybody needs 5 years. So, it could be that you're just missing maybe 1 year of experience, or perhaps you're missing a few credits in the training component and you need some time to take those courses. That may only take, weeks to a few months or a year. So it's just that we give you that maximum 5 years so that we can allow you to get to the experience and education that you need. So if you do meet the requirements, then you're approved to select an exam date. When you select an exam date, all of the associated emails and information that is sent to you follows. So for example, we have the exams 4 times a year. And if you choose your exam date, let's say you're going to choose April's exam, we put you into our system as chosen the April exam, and then come the exam time, challenge the exam. And then if you pass, then great, you've achieved your GSC, and that is the finish line basically. So once you pass the exam, we provide you the results, and we provide you a certificate, an official certificate, and then you can use GSC after your name as a credential. And then just a reminder that if you want to become P.GSC, that your GSC is the prerequisite. So now that you've achieved it, you can move on to P.GSC if you desire. If you fail the exam, there is an opportunity, and it's unlimited, however, how many times you want to rewrite the exam. But if you fail the exam this first time, you can go ahead and rewrite the exam, and that requires a selection of another date, another exam date. And as you know, that would bring you back into the pool, and you don't need to apply again. It's just a matter of choosing a new exam date and paying the rewrite fee, which is $125 plus tax. So another thing can happen as well during your application review. Sometimes applicants are very, very close to meeting the requirements. So that means that they have maybe one course left to do, or maybe just, they need to submit a new letter of recommendation, something to that effect. We can conditionally approve you. And that means that you're able to select an exam date. However, you do need to send in missing documentation 1 month before the exam. So this is all, it's all in our application guide on the website, but we also remind you of this every time we send applicants their status updates or their application results. This will all be contained in the emails that you receive. So if you do get us the documentation 1 month before the exam, then you can go ahead and challenge the exams with no conditions to your approval. And then the cycle would continue. So you would pass the exam or you fail the exam. As a Gold Seal intern, as I mentioned, you have up to 5 years to complete your internship. And just a little bit of details here. So what we're looking for, again, is 1 year of Canadian experience in the designation or 2 years of Canadian experience in an assistance position. So the way that it's factored is we give 10 credits per year of experience. So what we're looking for here as an intern is only 10 credits or 20 credits, depending on your experience, and an updated or a current, I should say, letter of reference from your employer. And it must also be from your direct supervisor. So if you're curious as to what needs to be in the letter, this is also in our application guide, which is on our website. So you can take a look at that. But what we're looking for essentially is your position at the company, how long you've been there, a little bit about your project details, and a little bit about you as well. As a Gold Seal certified, we are looking for a total of 100 Gold Seal credits as a minimum for all designations except foremen. Foremen need 75 credits as a minimum. So again, with the letter of reference, you do need that as well for your GSC application. And here for a GSC requirement, we are looking for a minimum of 5 years of experience in the designation. So again, the same formula applies. It's 10 credits per year. So we're looking at 50 credits for the project experience at a minimum. If you have more than that, so let's say you have over 10 years experience, you can include up to 8 years of experience because we have to cap it at 75 credits. And the reason for that is because the remaining 25 credits need to come from education and training. I'll take you through that in just a moment. Just a note here under project experience. So for PMs, superintendents, and estimators, you do need to be directly employed by a company working in either general contracting, trade, electrical, mechanical, or civil. So just be sure that you're aware of that in terms of your company that you are currently working for. As well, consultants are not accepted, but there is an exception for the owner's construction manager designation. And if you're unsure, we can also help you with that along the way. So in terms of the education and training, as I mentioned, a minimum of 25 credits needs to come from education or training credits, and this includes the mandatory and safety training. So if, let's say you have not only, but if let's say you have the minimum of 5 years of experience, so you have 50, and you do have 25 credits for education and training, including the mandatory training as well. The remaining 25 credits, so we're at 75 now, the remaining 25 credits can come from either experience or training. Okay, so that's something to just calculate when you're looking at submitting your application. And one thing to note here, it was on the previous slides as well, but the current year, if you're putting in your experience, the current year does not count until the end of the year. Okay, so only a full year is counted for project experience, but we do require, you'll see in the form, we do require what we title as current role. So the current year, 2021, and where you're working. Just a little bit about P.GSC. So again, you've already become a GSC, and you can actually apply immediately after obtaining your GSC. Just know that it's renewable every 2 years. And at the 2-year renewable mark, we do request a new application form to be sent in. They are the same if it's a new or a renewal, because what we're looking for is that you have worked the minimum 2,000 hours in that same designation in the past 2 years, and that you've also achieved a minimum of 30 Gold Seal credits in the formal education and as well in one or more of the following categories. So formal education is required. So it's 10 credits is what we're looking for, and the remaining 20 credits can come from any of the following categories. Again, this is all listed on our website. In terms of mandatory training, there are a few components here. So all applicants do need to take the construction industry ethics course. Currently, I will bring you into some news that we will be preparing for March, but currently there is an online and an in-class virtual component. Virtual has taken over the in-class due to COVID, of course. So what we require you to do is check with your local construction association. You do not have to be a member, but they will provide you with the pricing grid, and usually they package up the virtual and the online component together. So just check with an association that's nearest you, and those can be found on our website as well. One thing to note for the ethics course is that there are no substitutions accepted. You must take the CCA Gold Seal course. If you happen to have taken an ethics course in your past education or training, that unfortunately will not qualify. We need you to take this specific course for Gold Seal. For foremen, you do require to take Construction 101 and beyond, and Leadership for Safety Excellence. So those are available either through, you can inquire about them through your local association or on our website. They could be found as well. And for estimators, PMs, OCMs, and superintendents, we also require an additional 2 credits from any of the designation specific areas that you see here in the chart. So for example, if we're looking at superintendent, these are topics, by the way. These are not specific courses that you need to take. These are just topics that a course could fall under. So if you're looking to take a course under management of HR or planning and scheduling, we do require 2 credits there. You can do 2 things. You can either take 1 course, which is equivalent to at least 12 hours of training, or you can take 2 different courses that are equivalent to at least 6 hours of training. And the reason for that is the formula, the way we count the credits, is for every 6 hours of training, you get 1 Gold Seal credit. And that does not include lunches and breaks for the course. So just to keep that calculation in mind, it is on our website as well if you need to reference it. But for every 6 hours of training, it's 1 Gold Seal credit. So there is a new ethics course being developed at the moment. So what has gone on in the last year or so is just trying to figure out what the best course of action would be for the ethics course. And what everyone at CCA and the Gold Seal Committee have decided to do is to consolidate the construction industry ethics course. So there will be no need for an online component and a virtual component as of April 1st. So anybody who has taken the current structure of the course, which is online and virtual, that will definitely still be validated. We will definitely accept that. And if you're currently enrolled in one of the ethics courses in that structure, you can still take that. That's no problem. It will be accepted on your application. But it's just a note to keep you guys up to date in terms of what's coming in April, and it will be a revised combination course. So as of April 1st, you will be required to take that course. There are a couple of reciprocities, so the equivalencies that we accept with your application. Let's say you have your CIOB. you will be approved to write the exam with your 5 years experience and your mandatory ethics course. If you are a safety practitioner and you have your NCSO, we approve you as long as you have the 5 years experience and the ethics course. Estimator has two components. So under the CIQS, if you have your PQS credential, you're automatically approved for certification. So you do not need to write the exam. You would automatically be certified as a GSC. However, if you are an estimator and you have your CEC credential, we still do require to see the 5 years of experience in order for you to write the exam. So the difference here is that one, you would need to write the exam, which is your CEC, and the other, PQS, you would need to just submit your PQS credential, the proof, and you would be approved. In terms of safety training, there are a couple of credit limits here. So of course, for safety practitioners, there is no safety training limit. But for estimators, foremen, OCMs, and PMs, there is a 5 credit limit for safety training. So you may submit all of your safety training and it may exceed that, but we will only count up to 5 credits of it. For superintendents, we accept 10 credits as a limit for safety training. And just to give you an idea of what we do accept, first aid, your WMIS, your working at heights, so any types of safety training that fall under those types of categories, and there's definitely more, of course, those will be accepted. We do have Gold Seal accredited courses. So the way that this works is the accreditation program is for construction management education. It applies to any universities, colleges, individual course providers that may want to get their courses that they teach that fall under the construction industry accredited for Gold Seal. And what that means is that it's a 5-year accreditation. And so if you take that course, you will be provided with the credits allocated to that course, and there will be no question when it's provided on your application. So let's say you take a project management course and it's worth 4 Gold Seal credits. As long as you provide that certificate, we will be able to see the credit allocation as well as the certificate number, so the accreditation number, and this is all on the responsibility of the course provider. As long as we see that, then you're given the 4 credits, no question. So there is no calculation required on that part. It's a good place to start if ever you're not sure where to start in terms of what training you need to take. The accredited training is on our website, and all of the listed active courses that are accredited are listed there. It's a good place to start, like I said. Otherwise, you can always reach out to your local construction association. The education coordinators and managers there are very familiar. This is what they do, and they guide the Gold Seal applicants into the, the areas that they need to take their training. So in terms of the application, we do require that, and you'll notice this once you come to the application, that we do require you to include the title of each seminar or course or workshop, and to include the duration of each one. This really helps us do the calculations a lot quicker than having to look up the course itself. So please do include the duration of each course. One thing to note here is that your training, your courses must be within the last 10 years. Okay, so that does not apply to formal education, and formal education is your trade ticket or your university degree, college diploma, any industry-related diploma as well. That is accepted no matter what. However, in terms of courses themselves, we do require them to be taken in the last 10 years. We also require your record of attendance or your certificate of completion. It is preferred that you attach your certificate of completion, which the course provider should provide to you right afterwards. That is very much necessary in order to complete the application. So just be sure that you have all of that ready to go before you apply. With project experience, we look for your current role, so the title of your role, a little bit about the description of the project, and the employer's name, who the project was for, and a little bit of your project-specific duties. So you can see in terms of the size of the field, we don't look for too much, but you can write a little bit more than what's indicated in terms of that space. But we don't look for too much. We just look for some point form, you know, points. And what we want is just a little bit of a snapshot of what that project was about. For those of you that may have residential experience, please note that Part 9 of the National Building Code does not count for Gold Seal. If you have Part 3, so if one of your projects, let's say, is Part 3 of National Building Code, just read on that portion of the building code to make sure that it's accurate and that it reflects what we have as acceptable, and that is in the application guide as well. So just be cognizant of your projects when you put them in. So a little bit of a summary, an application checklist. And by the way, in the application form on the first page, we do provide a little bit of a checklist for you. So in case you forgot, you know, to obtain a certificate, let's say, we do have that reminder before you can start the application. So a letter of reference from your current employer, all of your employment history, your education and training, and payment comes at the end. And we accept PayPal and all credit cards. So you can start on 2 pages. What we have is our main website, which I've shown you earlier, but also the apply.goldsealcertification.com website. If any of you are familiar with our previous portal, this is where you would have reached that portal. It's still live in terms of just the page, but it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of what new applicants need to do after May 1st of 2020, which is when we moved away from the portal. We now have online forms only. But if you're on our website in general, you can also click on the Get Certified button and it will bring you directly to this page. A little snapshot of what that page looks like. What we provide to you are a few resources that are really helpful. So I suggest if you're brand new to this process to take a look at the video of how to apply for a Gold Seal intern or how to apply for the GSC designation. There's a couple video links there for you. The click here for the Gold Seal intern application as well as the GSC application, those links are there for you. It will bring you right to the form itself. And we also give you the breakdown of the costs and the requirements. So everything is there for you in one page. For any of you that are familiar with the closed portal, there is a section for that that specific topic. Let's say you started an application in the closed portal, read through this section first. You can also contact us for more information. There are application costs, of course, and until March 12th, 2021, these are the current costs. So the GSI application fee is $125 plus tax. And then once you meet the GSC requirements, you need to start a new GSC application, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar. And then that would require a $525 plus tax fee. Now, this GSC application fee currently until March 12th does include the exam, which is one try. And there, of course, is a separate fee for any rewrites if you failed the exam. Now, application fees are non-refundable, so please keep that in mind before you go on to apply. Now, after March 13th, there will be a new framework, a new structure essentially for the process. So what we are going to launch is basically an enrollment program. So all applicants are going to register and they will be technically enrolled in the Gold Seal program as interns to start. And that cost will be $425 plus tax, but you will be approved as an intern and you will be given up to 5 years to meet the requirements and to challenge the exam. After this enrollment, If you believe that you have all the requirements to become Gold Seal certified, then you can start a new application and pay the additional $100 plus tax. So you'll see there that it equals out to the $525, but essentially we're trying to make this more of an enrollment into a program rather than two separate applications. If you're a GSC applicant and you are approved to write the exam, then there is a separate exam fee. So oftentimes, some people cannot write the exam right away. It may be delayed for whatever reason. So it's only when you are able to write the exam that you need to pay the exam fee. However, you do need to make sure that you're writing the exam within 1 year of approval. So let's say you're approved today and what are we, January 14th. You have up until January 14th, 2022 to write the exam. So just keep that in mind as well. Other fees that may come about, if you need your entire application re-reviewed, there will be a fee for that of $100. And the same rewrite fee applies if you fail the exam. It's $125 plus tax. The Gold Seal exam. So oftentimes the question is there any study material for the exam? How do I prepare for the exam? One thing to keep in mind is that the exam is very much experience-based. So we do not have, booklets or documents that you need to study for in order to write the exam. You have to keep your designation hat on and treat the exam with that in mind. So if you are a superintendent, make sure that you're looking at the exam through the eyes of a superintendent. It's very often, that a lot of you have different hats, that you play different roles. You may be a project manager and an estimator, that kind of thing. This is why the occupational profile, again, is very important to identify with, because you want to write the exam in the role that you're most prominent in. So what you do most of the day and daily. So just be cognizant of that before you're applying. And when you come to the exam, we ask you to read through the occupational profile once again, and so that it's fresh in your mind. Now, before COVID, so pre-COVID, all the exams were proctored at local associations that you chose in your application, whether you were a member or not. However, since October of 2020, we've been hosting the exam online. So that means that you would be writing from your office or your home, wherever you have a quiet spot that is private and good Wi-Fi. So the exam is multiple choice, and the pass mark is 75%. So anything above that merits the GSC and the passing mark. Anything below 75 is a fail, and you must rewrite. Okay. All 2021 dates are available on our website under the applicants Gold Seal exam section. And we have added a new date, which is in June. And so now the exam is provided 4 times a year instead of 3. So a couple of resources. We're currently updating the Gold Seal certification guide. There will be, within the next couple of days, there will be a brand new revised guide located on our website. So please take a look at that when you have a moment. The training and accredited courses, I'll just take you there real quick to show you approximately where it is. So we're on our main page of the website here. If you go under course providers, accredited training, and this is where all of the training courses reside. So you can either look by province, or if you know the institution in which you're taking the course, you can definitely look them up here. As you can see, there's a number of accreditations listed. So just take a look through there. Just a tidbit of information. If you click on the title, it alphabetizes it for you. So just take a look, see where you want it to start, and if you're missing a specific course and you want to check if it's Gold Seal accredited, you can do so here. The how to apply page is available and on our website. So again, under applicants, I would suggest that you read through all of these pages, to be honest, before contacting us and asking questions, because quite a few answers are on here. So everything you need is available here on on the website. And again, the how to apply page is very similar. It's actually a duplication of what I showed you earlier in a little screenshot that I showed you, but all of the information is here for you to go through. And information on the Gold Seal exam, we already visited that page. So again, all of that is there for your reading pleasure, and so that you can answer any questions that you have right off the bat. The upcoming exams are April 23rd, and we always have a deadline of 6 weeks before the exam date. So be sure to get your application in by March 12th if you do wish to write the April exam, then June 25th, and then October 2021. So I'm going to just go through some questions at the moment, and I'll leave this page up so that you can mark down our email and our website address, and I'll just go through the questions here one by one. If you do need to leave, feel free to do so. If you want to stick around for the answers of the questions, you're more than welcome. Again, this webinar is being recorded, so it will be available to you to go through if you like on your own time. Okay, so one of our first questions here is, do you have a GSC salary survey? We do not. No, we don't provide that. Do you have a subsidized rate for application for people who were without employment or got redundant due to COVID? I understand the fees are high as most corporate reimburse. What about individual applications? No, unfortunately, we do not. So if you are currently unemployed, you do have to wait until you gain new employment in order to apply for the Gold Seal certification. There is no reciprocity for the PMI or PMP. And why is GSC or P.GSC required when you have a PMP, and how is GSC better than PMP? So good question, and this often comes up. They are, of course, two different certifications. PMP is a very highly regarded certification. It's just your personal development and what you feel that you may want to challenge yourself with. But again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, the GSC is highly regarded in the construction industry specifically for management professionals, but it is something that could give you a leg up in employment. You know, some employers and companies look for GSCs for specific bids. We've actually had a couple of people come to us and say, I have a very important bid that's coming up next week. Is there any way I can get my GSC? So, this is a process. So just be sure that you're aware of, the timing as well. But it is something that's very important in the industry now, and it's growing even more and more as we see the years go on. 7 years working in occupational health and safety, 2 of those as a manager. Am I eligible to write my GSC for OHS? And does the CRSP have any relevance or bearing on eligibility? So good question. If you have your 7 years, if you're a safety coordinator, safety practitioner, that merits at least the 5 years minimum. So you will be able to have the experience based on that. And it does, of course, your education and training weighs in on the rest of the credits. And the CRSP, I actually don't know. I haven't seen the CRSP before. I'm sorry, but that's something that you can ask us, send us an email and we can look into it for you. But if it's something similar to the NCSO, which is the National Construction Safety Officer, some of them have different equivalencies essentially. So that's something to look into. But if it is a type of certification, we can look into that for you. Okay, does an applicant need to be currently employed? Yes, you do. As mentioned that earlier in the questions, you do need to be currently employed with a construction company. And again, you would need at least a letter of reference from your current supervisor to apply for a GSC. Okay, so my next question here is, so people move careers or progress through multiple roles in construction? Yes. Do you need 5 years in a specific role to apply, or do you need 5 years overall and choose a core competency? So if you're applying as, let's say, an estimator, you do need 5 years of experience as an estimator. 2 of those years could be in a junior role or an assistant role, as I mentioned earlier. But you do need to have the experience based on that specific designation. So there's no combinations really. There is an exception for superintendents where we do accept foremen as part of the experience. And then for foremen specifically, you only need 3 years experience as a foreman, and 2 of the remaining years, which will equal your 5, can be in a different role. So there are a couple of exceptions there, and they are on our website in the application guide. Okay, I'm just going to go on here. Why is there no reciprocity with PMP? We just don't have a reciprocity with PMP. That's something that just has not been done for Gold Seal. Okay, I have recently passed the PMP exam and would now like to pursue GSC. Do the training and experience hours that qualified me for PMP have any weight in the qualification for GSC credits? I currently have 6 years of experience in combined PC, APM, PM experience. I'm also currently the project manager for a $26 million project in a remote location. Okay, so a couple of questions in one question. So I'll just address the first part. The PMP designation specifically, a certification specifically, will not count towards your requirements. So if you provide your PMP certificate, that doesn't count for anything for Gold Seal. However, if you do have separate courses and their corresponding certificates that you've taken within that program, we can accept those, but you must have them as their own specific course, essentially. So we can also help you with that, elaborate, if you will, offline if you'd like. Okay. Sorry, just a couple more questions here. I also completed a Bachelor of Science in Construction Project Management, which was a 4-year course at SAIT. Would these education hours apply as well? I graduated. Yes, absolutely. So this construction project management course, program essentially, that would get you the top credits for formal education. So in our application guide, there is a little bit of a chart located in there, and we break down the formal education. So it could be your trade, from your trade ticket to your industry related degree or diploma, all the way to the construction project management course. And SAIT is one of our top course providers that accredit for Gold Seal as well, and that project management program would get you the 40 credits. So take a look at our application guide to make sure that that falls within that area, and for sure include that in your application. Okay. Application checklist, letter of reference. What if you're not currently employed? So I've already addressed that. If you are residential PM using Part 9 of the BC Building Code, can you still get your GSC? So I did go over in the project management section, Part 9 of the Building Code, of the National Building Code, does not count towards experience in the Gold Seal application. If it's experience in Part 3, then we do accept that. Can you share statistics of currently enrolled GSIs, GSCs, and P.GSCs individually enrolled? Those change every day, so I don't have that up off the top of my head. But, you know, for example, we've had, I believe there was about 109 GSIs enrolled as of November 2020. So the number changes, but we do have quite a few enrolled at the moment. What would initiate a re-review fee for GSC exam application? So that's where it comes into play, where we've given you your complete review. We've given you your status, what you need, let's say your missing requirements, what needs to happen in the next couple of years. Let's say you don't have enough experience or education or training, and we've given you all of that breakdown. Following that, let's say it's a year later and you need us to re-review your application, there will be a fee for that, okay? Because it does take time and administrative costs. Okay, what is the average cost from start to finish to complete your GSC with the courses you need for credits? So if you have everything lined up and all of your requirements are up to par with what is required, it's a matter of from the time you apply to the time you're approved. We usually approve applications within 1 to 2 weeks. And then from there, depending on the time of year, you just write your exam, and then if you pass, you're Gold Seal certified. So it really depends on the timing of the exam. You know, as I mentioned, January, April, June, and October are our exam dates. But if you have everything lined up, you should be able to get your GSC within a couple of months. Sometimes it's a matter of weeks, like I said, depending on the exam date. In construction for 25 years, I have PQS. Do I have to write the exams or just need to pay a fee and automatically obtain GSC? Okay, great. So you're on your way. PQS, I mentioned earlier, is an equivalency for GSC. So as long as you provide us with your PQS certificate through the application, you just have to pay the fee and you are automatically certified to become GSC. So you do not have to write the exam. Does co-op experience count towards the 5 years? So that depends on the role itself. So yes, we've seen you know, a couple of people do assistant positions or coordinator positions as part of co-op. As long as they equate to a full year of experience, though, that's where the requirement has a little bit of a fine line. It does need to be a full year of experience. Is the $525 fee for GSC a one-time fee, or is it it's a one-time fee? So you just have to pay the $525 and it includes your Gold Seal exam, and that's just a one-time fee. And once you become GSC, you're GSC for life. Okay, I'm just going to answer one more question here and then I'll let everybody go. Why do you need to be currently employed to get your application approved? So we require, because there's a lot of uncertainty if you're unemployed, we need to have that, you know, that it's a requirement. It's basically a, you know, a level of professionalism that we have to keep the program under. So we do need to make sure that everybody is employed currently in a construction management position, because otherwise we would have unlimited, you know, open applications where somebody may not be employed for a number of, you know, months or even years. So we need to make sure that we have that as part of the Gold Seal program. If you'd like to discuss further, I see that you have another question about that. You can email us and we can contact you directly. Is civil engineering degree from the University of Toronto considered industry related? Yes, it is. So a civil engineering degree does count towards the industry related university degree. So you can definitely provide that in your application. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. And I hope that this webinar has helped you and answered a few questions at least. And again, visit our website for more information. Read through the pages there that I've shown you. You can also go through some of the videos that we have on our YouTube channel. And then you can also email us if you have any further questions. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, and I wish you all the best in your Gold Seal journey. Take care.